What's up, YouTube? Today we're going to spend a whole video and talk about working out for teenagers. So talk about how old you have to be to start working out, and more importantly, how old you have to be so you can start lifting weights. Because everybody talks about, you can't work out until you're this age and this age because you're going to stunt your growth and blah, 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 you're going to injure yourself, and you're supposed to have been 6 foot, now you're only 5'5", and it's all their fault because they started working out early. So let's cover all of that. Very first thing we're going to talk about is the stunning growth part. That's probably the biggest concern for everybody. And I used to think that too. I'm about 5'9", almost 5'10". I usually tell people, I'm 5'10". So, and I used to believe, crap, if I didn't start exercising a long time ago, I would have been like 6 foot, But then I started learning and I realized actually that's really not the case. As far as how tall you are, majority of it is genetics. But there is a little bit that comes into play when it comes to exercising when you're young. So first we're going to talk about those exercises that stunt your growth. So any exercise that has to do with very heavy weight that you lift above your head will stunt your growth when you're young. So some of the exercises are going to be, for example, any type of overhead press working on your shoulders, like a standing military press, anything that compresses your spine. Heavy squats, that's going to really go ahead and stunt your growth, and anything that's really super heavy. So deadlifts, even though you're not lifting it above your head, I would probably still say to not go too heavy on those and to really probably stay away from it for now until you get a little older. So most of the powerlifting moves are the ones that you want to kind of stay away from until your body at least has a little chance to mature. So the exercise that you should be concentrating on are exercises that don't involve any weight at all, because this way there's no way to stunt your growth, right? You're just using your body weight. You do all the type of jumping around stuff that you like. For example, push-ups, pull-ups, any type of squats, any type of sprints, any of the functional body weight workouts, anything to do with your body weight, you're more than welcome to do, and really, really tough to really stunt your growth. As far as what age should you start working out with weights, I'd recommend about 14. When you're about 14 years old, start working out with weights, and don't do any of those really super heavy lifts until you probably get to about the age of 16. Now, it's pretty arguable. Some people may say you can do it a little younger. Some people say you probably want to wait a little longer. But I would be safe, and I would say about 14, you can start actually working out with weights. And 16, you can start actually doing those heavy lifts, the heavy squats and the military presses over your head and things like that. And by that time, your body has matured enough to where you've hit some growth spurts. You probably haven't stopped growing yet, and you will continue to grow. But just as long as you stay moderate in the amount of weight that you use, don't go don't go under 8 reps. You should be fine and keep it really safe. Next thing that's very, very important, and probably the most important thing for us young people working out, is when you're working out and you're concentrating on your form. Form is the most important thing when you're a teenager and you're exercising. The reason why is because most teenagers that I've seen, to be honest with you, they really don't exercise right. And the thing is, they can't even tell that they're doing it wrong. Here's the reason why: because their bodies are really young, their muscles are young, they're not matured, and they most of the time haven't really sustained any type of injuries. So imagine somebody being really fresh, even if they do the wrong thing. They haven't done it long enough to basically get injured. It's kind of like driving like a new car. You grab a new car, you can drive it really hard, you can step on the brakes really hard, you can do all these turns, and the suspension and everything is really tight and just drives like a dream, right? But then if you drive like an old car, well, you better drive it right, because that thing's going to break down on you if you try to go ahead and go rough with it. So when you're young and you're working out and you're doing it wrong, it's kind of like driving a new car. You got that grace period to where if you're doing it wrong, you're not even going to be able to tell, because your body's not going to hurt and your muscles are still going to grow, and so you're going to feel fine. The problem with that is as you start to work out wrong, you learn it wrong, as you get older and older, it's starting to wear and tear on your joints, on your muscles, and then as you start going heavier because you're getting stronger, then you injure yourself. And after that, you're going to be like everybody else who's been working out for a lot of years, injuries everywhere, and it just sucks. It puts you out of the gym for months, and then before you know it, you got surgery, and let's not even talk about all that. So this is what you need to do. Even if you're working out and you think you're doing the right form, you really need to go ahead and make sure that all of your techniques and all of your form is correct right from day one. It takes a little while to establish it, but you got to start now. If you're young, you need to start now. If you're a little older and you're starting to work out, same thing goes, except you don't have that same advantage like the younger guys. You know, you do something wrong, you pretty much feel it within a few weeks. Young guys, you still have a good few months to a couple years before you actually start feeling those injuries. Make sure you start off right, and then later on when you get older, it becomes natural for you. The correct form, it becomes natural. You don't have to, relearn everything. That is the most important thing for y'all teenagers out there when you're working out. Keep it safe. It's all about form when you're younger. As you get older, then worry about throwing up heavy weight, then worry about building all that massive muscle and looking all jacked. When you're younger, just worry about form, build some good muscle, and build that foundation to where as you get older and stuff, you can really pack on that muscle. And here's a tip that I didn't really realize until now. When you're young, it's a little tougher to put on mass. You can still do it, but the muscle maturity is not there all the way. As you get older every single year, it seems to be faster when you're putting on muscle. It's almost like suddenly when you're hitting a certain age, you start keeping all this muscle. It's an awesome feeling. So definitely want to start off young. So if y'all guys are 13, 14, 15 out there watching this video, thinking about working out, thinking about getting started, start like now. Because by the time you turn 17, 18, 20, you're going to have all this mature muscle. You're going to look like somebody who's 30 years old when you take off your shirt because you got this badass body and they look at your face and you're like 20, you're like 18, and you just look awesome because you started early. So, definitely go ahead and do that, but take my advice. Make sure form is key. Don't injure yourself. Don't do it wrong from the start. Learn the right way to do it. So this way, when you're older, you're going to have a badass body, you're going to look great, and you don't have to relearn all those mistakes that you made in the past. Another important thing for teenagers working out is probably about 7 out of 10 teenagers I get questions on are wanting to go ahead and put on a little more size. Sometimes I get the opposites where some teenagers are a little overweight and they want to drop weight. When it comes to putting on more size, the main thing you need to concentrate on is basically eating a lot more food, because it's really important. That's the only way you can go ahead and put on more size. When it comes to food, and when you're a teenager, a lot of times you're a lot more active and your metabolism is a lot higher, so you get to go ahead and slack off a little bit on eating super healthy. When you're older and stuff, you got to eat healthier because your metabolism is naturally not as high. But when you're growing, your body is still maturing, you can pretty much put down not anything you want, but there's definitely a lot more leeway for bad food versus good food. So what you want to do, pretty much put down as much food as you can and keep it to where you stay away from greasy foods, fast foods. Eat a lot more wholesome foods like potatoes, like rice, like beef, like chicken, and just eat a good amount of it. If you're skinny and you want to put on more size and you've been trying for a long time but you can't do it, the reason why is you're just not eating enough. Now you may think, man, Mike, I've been eating all this food and I still can't do it. Well, the basics of it is whatever you're eating, if you're not putting on weight, you just have to eat more. And if you aren't putting on weight, then you just have to eat more. And eventually your body is going to tell itself, well, crap, man, I'm eating all this food and I can't burn all this food off and I got to put it somewhere. So if you're working out, it goes into your muscles. If you're not working out, it goes into your gut. So solve the problem. If you're starting to see a gut coming along and you realize, hey, not all the food's going to my muscles, then you got to go ahead and cut it back a little bit. But if you don't see the results and you're eating and you think you're eating enough, eat more. And eventually you're going to solve that problem really quick because you're going to continue to eat until eventually your body just has no other way to get rid of this food but to go ahead and leave it on your body and put it onto your muscles if you're working out, or your stomach if you're not. So that's how you put on size when you're young. For y'all guys that are younger, that are overweight, pretty much do the opposite. You're probably eating too much calories and you actually have to start concentrating on eating those lean proteins and eating the lean carbs that we talk about in some of the other videos, but also you have to start being a lot more active. So one thing to do to be active is you can join sports at school. You can go ahead and do something easy as getting out and just start jogging, start walking, and watch some of the other videos, the workout videos, and start doing some of the workouts at home. If you have a local gym that you can go to, I didn't join a gym till, man, I think I was working out for a couple years until I finally started joining a gym. I worked out in the garage, with rusty barbells and all that stuff. So you don't have to worry about that. I know with the young guys sometimes, gym memberships might be a little costly. Yeah, don't worry about it. You can actually check out maybe like your local field house, where the people that play the sports, they go in there and a lot of times it's free for everybody. So a lot of other alternatives. But the main thing for you guys though is just be more active, get involved in different type of activities, and most importantly though, if you can go ahead and start a workout regimen, that would be perfect. And besides that, concentrating on lowering your calories, and you should start seeing that weight drop. So check out more videos. You can go to SixPackShortcuts.com, and it has all the workouts and all the nutrition there. Talk to you guys next time.